Welcome to the bonus resources section of the book Grace. First of all, thank you for being here because it means that you've decided to take a further step than most people. A lot of us in our journey of development, of understanding of life, of healing, we keep it at the mental level. We think about it too much, but rarely we act on it. Rarely do we do the work, do we apply the teachings. And being here means that you value the practical aspects of your healing journey. If nothing else, if you don't finish the book, I will highly encourage you to go through the different practices that are in this mini course or mini section and to apply them. If you implement them, even without reading the book, you will get far more than it was written on it. On the other hand, if you only read the book and you just do one thing one time, you just do a practice and then forget about it, it will have accounted to mere entertainment. And I'm not sure about you, but I'm not here to entertain you. That is not the purpose of this book. The purpose of this book and of having put the effort to create this section for free is that tangible change, tangible growth can happen. Not in the imagination, not in the mind merely, but that you who are reading this book can see yourself and your life change quite quickly if you implement this and are consistent with it. That is the purpose of all of this, that you have a practical experience of transcending suffering, a practical experience of coming in touch with something deeper within yourself. And for that, you need these resources. It's like manifestation. You can sit at home and think about ice cream all day long. Maybe you're very good. You can think about the pistachio and caramel flavors that you like from the local store. And maybe you're so good that your mouth is going to water. You can feel the texture and do all the things that they tell you in manifestation courses and law of attraction courses. Just feel as if you're there, as if you're entering the ice cream shop and you're licking the ice cream and you can have the experience. But nothing is going to happen until you get up, you get your ass off your couch, grab your wallet, grab some money, walk to the ice cream shop, pay for it, and grab your ice cream. And you're not going to enjoy it until you lick it bit by bit. So action is necessary to enjoy the fruits of that which we have created in your mind. I hope that these resources contribute to you bringing into a lived experience that which is in your heart, whether from the book or from previous understandings and teachings that you've received in other places. Now, how to use this resource section? Think of this as a menu. Sure, you could eat all that there is on the menu and everything can be tasty. However, you will gravitate more towards a salad when you're a little full, or just a drink when you're not hungry at all, or the biggest meal there is when you're really starving. In the same way, as you're reading through the book, I want you to notice and feel, wow, this section touched me, and now I'm invited to do this practice. So that is the practice for you in that moment. And maybe you're going through it and you open one of the resources and you think, this is not something that I am in resonance with. Then you can leave it aside. Now, I invite you to enter this with an open mind, to not use your assumptions, your presumptions about what works and what doesn't. Even if you have done something similar in the past, when it comes to meditations, to breath work, to the tracking spreadsheets that I have included, to journaling, even if you have your own version of things, I am not asking you to change who you are, your spiritual practices, or your beliefs whatsoever. Religion, I'm not interested in telling you what is true or what is not. However, I want you to try things on. Imagine that you walked into a shop and you get to try things on and see if they fit. You can't really know until you try them on. But maybe you try something on and you realize, actually, this is not for me. And that's okay, but at least give yourself the opportunity to explore something new, even if it's similar or it feels similar to something you have explored before. That is the invitation, because you may be surprised when it comes to the journey and the path of healing. It is very nuanced. All it takes is a subtle difference in how things are stated, in how things are introduced, for the changes to be drastic. It's like a golf ball. All it takes is 1 millimeter on the wrong side for the ball to go like meters and meters off the place where you intended it to go. I'll give you an example. Imagine that you have a friend that is in a rough place, or a family member, or your lover, somebody that is close to you. Usually you ask them, how are you feeling? And you will find that a lot of people, when you ask them, how are you feeling? I don't know, a little strange. They have a hard time articulating it. I learned recently that if you ask, what are you feeling? It allows them to, in that moment, become observers of the what of the thing, the feeling they are feeling. And it makes them more able to name it, because there's a certain distance that was created. It's not how are you, but what are you experiencing? What are you feeling? Something as subtle as changing how the question is phrased can induce clarity in a faster way. This is just a small example. The same goes for some of these practices. Some of the journal prompts are carefully designed to induce a specific reflection. The meditations were specifically designed with a certain purpose and with a certain energy behind it. So have fun. This is for you to enjoy. And lastly, I want to ask you, and I trust you, that there's no way for me to really force this upon you, but you bought the book. Whatever you paid for it, you decided that this is something that you wanted, and you went out of your way, put your credit card or your whatever it is that you used, and you grabbed yourself a copy. Or maybe the book was gifted to you. That meant someone was thinking about you. The point is that this book was in your hands, either by choice, yours or somebody else's, and you read enough of it to be curious to make it to the resource section. Just because you like one of the practices, please do not just copy and paste the link and send them to your friend who has not read the book, because everything out of context loses part of its beauty, its magic, and its power. If a person comes and just sees all the different segments and resources, they may grab them, but they don't have a context. They don't have a fertile soil in which those seeds are gonna actually bloom into lifelong practices, hopefully. Grace, the reading part of the book, starts fertilizing the soil, starts removing the weeds, starts taking care of the terrain, so that when you do the practice, it falls in a place where results can be noticeable very quickly, actually. But for someone who doesn't have that context, they grab these seeds and they throw them in a piece of concrete. Maybe they're too walled up, maybe their minds are too rigid, their hearts are too closed, and then it's a disservice, because then they think, well, meditations don't work, breathwork doesn't work, this journaling nonsense doesn't work. And it's not that it doesn't work, but it was that, number one, it fell on infertile soil. And number two, the best things in life, if they come at the wrong time, they become great curses. And you may have seen this with romantic relationships. If you had the experience, like I had and many people that I know, of meeting incredible people at a point where you were maybe too immature or too unsure about what you wanted or unwilling to commit, you may have looked back with maybe some regret or remorse down the line, thinking, wow, I really destroyed that relationship, and he or she was such a beautiful person. I was just not ready. Same, at the job of your dreams, if you're not ready for it, if you don't have the skills, the capacity, the discipline, you will get fired quite quickly. And then it becomes a painful experience because you were not ready for it. It came at the wrong time. People win the lottery and there's a high percentage that kill themselves within, I believe, it's 3 to 5 years. They were not ready for how much their life will change. and more importantly, to understand that that was not going to make them happy. In the same way, with spiritual practices, it's important to know that when you're ready, you find the teachings, the lesson, the tool, and it's not something that you can force upon anybody else. You cannot just copy and paste a link and send it to them and say, hey, like, this is for you. No. Perhaps they're not ready. How do you know they're not ready? Well, they don't have the book on their hands. If you think that this may serve them, get them a copy, buy a paperback, gift it to them, or tell them, hey, for a couple of dollars, you can go on Amazon and buy this book. I thought of you when I was reading it, and there's a bonus resource section that you will love. If you want, I can give you the couple of dollars. I want to treat you to this experience. I want to share this journey with you. Make sure that they also have some context. They also take care of their soil, and that nothing comes too early in their journey of growth, which can be the case with some of the work that we're going to be doing here. If somebody's in a very different place, accessing points of pain without the context, the necessary context, can just become a touching of the wounds, a regurgitating of trauma, and it can leave a person quite tender and fragile. And if they don't have the right context, that can be detrimental to their quality of life. A bit of a long introduction, but I am very excited. Make good use of this. If you haven't done so yet, please go to the platform where you bought the book, leave me a review. This allows for more people like you to find this book, Grace. And I hope that you, number one, enjoy, you practice, you implement. That is the juicy and joyful part of the journey of growth. These practices are what make you full of life and make life full of you. Like you can develop a deeper connection with life where it becomes your beloved in a metaphorical way. And finally, if you want to go deeper, if you experience some results and you feel that you're ready to go many layers deeper, there is a next steps section. In that, I'm going to invite you to work with me in a personal manner, group, some retreats, everything that you need, you're going to find there. That's an invitation. If you resonate with my work, you got a lot of these resources and practices, then you can go there and continue your journey. And if not, I hope that this book serves you well, and thank you for reading it and making this possible, because without you, I would not have created this. So